broadcast on Saturday.
Yep, today is Saturday.
I forgot it was Saturday, and Emily's like, "Are we doing a live?" I'm like, "Oh man, is it Saturday?" So it took me a little bit by surprise. Time's flying by because we've got a cruise coming up.
Yep.
We've got a 3-week-long cruise coming up on the Carnival Luminosa. We're going to Australia.
Yep.
Mate.
Yep. Gonna have some shrimp on the Barbie.
Throw some shrimp on the Barbie.
Yep.
Have
Check
a
out
couple
some
of
kangaroos.
Fosters.
Make a little,
But yeah, living.
Out with the kangaroo.
Have you guys done long cruises, like weeks long? We've done a couple now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like you get into the flow of the cruise ship where you're not doing your own laundry, you're not cooking your own meals, you're not cleaning your own room.
And then reality hits when you go home.
Then you get off the ship and it's like, oh man. Although we always say it's like we're like we want to cook. We love to cook. Mm-hmm. So when you get off the ship, what about you guys? When you get off the ship, do you like getting back home and being able to cook your own meals and stuff like that, or do you miss being catered to your every whim on the cruise ship? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here right off the bat. We're going to talk about cruise ship reality versus expectation and just kind of the general cruise experience. I've got some notes here that I took, and we'll go through a few different subjects. Should be a fun topic today. So Emily is going to tell you a little bit about...
Yeah, first we have to show off our merch.
Our gear,
Look at,
yeah.
See if I can stand up enough.
Embrace
We've got
today.
some
We've got our
shirts.
We've got our own gear.
Yeah. So
It's
it's
cool.
official. We're pretty excited about that. So we have been working with a company called Fourth Wall that does print-on-demand stuff. So we've been designing some cool apparel, and obviously when we're going on this cruise, we wanted some stuff to wear ourselves. So we'll be filming. If you're on the Luminosa and you see us walking by in our awesome Embrace Today merch, stop by and say hi.
Yeah.
Let us know. We'd love to meet people in person. That would be really fun. But the other thing that's really cool is Fourth Wall allows us to put our own products on. And as you may know, I have designed a cruise planner. And so I'm really excited. This is actually the small version that I have. There's also a large 8.5 by 11 version. And just got a couple of copies of these to check out. And, honestly, I gotta say, if I do say so myself, they're pretty awesome.
It's an awesome cruise planner. It
Yeah,
really is.
and over 200 copies have sold so far, so you can get your own. There's a link in the description for Amazon if you prefer to shop on Amazon, or if you want to go through that Fourth Wall, you can click right on the video screen, and there's a link there on the video screen on YouTube that lets you buy this really awesome cruise planner. And we've got one more product.
Lastly, I got to show you my new water bottle. I lost my water bottle recently. I've been without a water bottle for 2 weeks. I like a bigger water bottle. This is 32 ounces. It's metal. Has this straw thing that comes up. Just literally got this today. It's got the Embrace Today logo, nice and big on there. It's a great water bottle. It's a great cruise ship water bottle to fill up with that potable water.
And it's a vacuum one, right? Because you said it's...
Yeah,
I think it's going to stay cold really long.
Absolutely.
So.
Very, very nice water bottle, logoed and everything.
Yep.
Kentucky Leisure. Hey, how's it going? All right, we're going to get into the subject matter now. Speaking of meeting people on the ship, I wanted to talk about... I'm just going to read a short paragraph here, guys. So the magic of meeting strangers on board. Delve into the fleeting friendships formed at dinner tables, trivia games, or shore excursions. Discuss why these connections feel so special and how the cruise environment fosters openness. Relatable angle is most people have met someone memorable on a trip, so invite viewers to share their stories about onboard bonds. So how about you must be social people if you're tuning into this live stream and you enjoy the talk about cruising and stuff like that. So when you guys are on cruise ships, do you meet a lot of people? Do you make big bonds and stay in touch with people off the ship, or do you mostly just hang out with people on the ship, or do you avoid people on the ship? What's your strategy when it comes to other people on the cruise ship? I'm gonna tell you, like, for us, we were a little shy to begin with, for sure. We definitely avoided getting tables like at main dining. We always wanted a table to ourselves. We avoided sitting with other people and that kind of stuff. I guess because we wanted to, especially to begin with, we wanted to just enjoy the cruise experience with each other. Mm-hmm. But the more we do it, and the more used to it we get, we know what to expect when we get on a cruise ship now. And we've both, I think I can speak for you, we've kind of realized that meeting people is like kind of part of the thing, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. You meet
Yeah.
interesting people. Not everybody I've met I've like connected with for sure. There's
Yeah, but that's also the nice thing about cruising, right? Is that you're not going to see them after that week of cruising, unless you want to. If you want to go out of your way and keep in touch, you always can. But if you are like, those people weren't really my cup of tea, that's fine. You can just go on and,
you
not
can move on.
everybody, yeah, not everybody
Exactly.
has to be your best friend. But it's fun to meet new people and hear new stories.
There's interesting. It's
Yeah.
what's great about cruise ships is there is such a diverse cut of people on a cruise ship. So somebody likes the chicken.
I love the
tenders.
short about the carnival chicken.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. It's such a funny. I mean,
When Joe read that to me, I was cracking up.
I need to get back
actually.
what I was saying, but that whole chicken tenders thing, it's not that funny that people are fighting on the cruise ships or whatever. But man, you gotta laugh at it, right? Because it's like it's so just. I saw there's the chicken tender brawl. It's called the chicken tender brawl, and I just couldn't get over that. I was like, I got to make some content about this because it just made me laugh. Just the concept of the chicken tender brawl makes me laugh. I'm so sorry for everybody on that cruise, though.
That looked like an intense fight.
It was
I
super
mean, it was
intense. It was super intense, and it was over chicken tenders. Anyway, back to people on a cruise ship. I just have one quick story I'm going to share about a really interesting person that I missed an opportunity. I wish I would have gotten to know this person a little bit better because I think the opportunity was there. But I was walking up to the deli. If you guys have been on a Carnival cruise before, you know what the deli is. It's the place where you can go get a sandwich. They're open till like 11 at night, so it's open a lot of hours. It's always there for you if you just want a sandwich or a snack or something like that. They have a great steak sandwich at the deli. And I walk up to the deli, and the deli usually has a long line. And I walk up, and there was actually only one person in line. I was like, yes, it's not going to take very long. I'm going to go to the deli, get my sandwich, and walk away. I'm not going to have to wait in line. And I walk up, and there's this older gentleman. He's got like a cowboy hat on. He's got kind of long silver hair, wearing, kind of a little bit Western kind of gear. And he's talking to the lady behind the counter at the deli that's making the sandwiches. And they are, sorry, I was reading that comment. Anyway, so he's talking to this lady behind the counter. And have you guys ever been in line at the grocery store or something where like there's a conversation going on between the clerk and the customer, and you're just like, man, I just want to buy my groceries. Will you please wrap up the conversation? And they just go on and on. It was like that. They were getting to know each other. They were hanging out, and I was just trying to get my sandwich. And at some point, I just kind of was overhearing what the guy was saying, and the guy had a big ring on every one of his fingers. And he looked at the girl, and either she said or he said, "Why do you have a ring on all your fingers?" And he looked at her, and he said, and it was both hands. And he said, because I've got Wild West tattooed on my fingers. And she was like, what? No. And he said, check this out. And he pulled off all the rings. The man had Wild West tattooed across his knuckles on his fingers where like the ring lays across. And I just was like, this is so cool. I like kind of mellowed out. I was like, this is insane. The man has Wild West tattooed on his fingers. He is, if you think of the frame of mind you need to be in to get Wild West tattooed across your fingers. I thought it was really interesting, and I could have gotten into a good conversation. I have a picture of him. I actually asked him after it happened, I'm like, can I get a picture of that? And he let me, but I should have just gotten into a conversation because I bet that would be a super interesting guy to have like a long conversation with. I would love to know the whole story about the Wild West tattooed on his fingers. I bet he was in like rodeos I have no idea because I never got to know. It was a missed opportunity. You got to get to know people when you get the chance on cruise ships. That's my point. I'm kind of talking too much though. So what's your take on meeting people on cruise ships?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I will just say, word of advice, if you're like wanting to meet people, if you're introducing yourself to somebody, maybe it's just me, but I've overheard a fair number of conversations on cruise ships. And the one thing that I don't really want to get sucked into is the conversation that's like the one-up medical issue conversation.
Man, that's happened.
And I've
Yeah.
overheard so many of those, and honestly, most of the ones I've overheard is just basically devolved into one person being like, oh, this happened to me, and then,
Yeah.
oh, but you want to know what? That wasn't the worst, because this also happened to me, and actually, there was something even worse that happened to me, and then it's like, this person's entire medical history. That's the one thing I
don't care for that.
I would avoid.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Politics and religion too is probably a
well,
good.
but I mean, yeah, I guess that, because that can get heated and divisive. But I feel like that could at least be interesting. And
That's true. That's true. Yeah, the medical ones aren't.
the medical ones are usually not as interesting. That's just me. So sorry if any of you love talking about medical problems and I've offended you. But
I think as we get older, we talk about medical problems more and more. I think,
this is true.
That's how it
Yeah.
goes. Anyway, yeah. So, do we want to move on to the next? Oh,
I was going to do some comments
Okay.
here. So Kentucky Leisure says, I've never been on a cruise. I'm watching you guys and others to prepare ourselves for later this year. I always like to over-prepare. I
Awesome.
totally get that. In case you
Yeah.
haven't realized, I am also an over-prepared person. That's
Yeah.
why I did the cruise planner, actually, is because I was preparing and writing down every little detailed thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
There's so much great cruise content out there to
Yeah,
prepare with.
Exactly.
Keep digging into it.
And-
It's fun. And then you get on the ship, and what's funny is even if you ingest a ton of cruise content, it's still going to be different than
Yeah.
what you think, and probably bigger and more grand than you
Yeah.
think, because those ships are they're crazy.
Yeah, I know Joe and I are a little bit different because I'll watch a lot of things about the cruise ship and he will not watch as much.
I wanna be
although some,
surprised.
but he likes to
Yeah.
be surprised. And I think that's actually kind of fun because it is good to have someone with you that knows where all the good stuff is,
That's true.
right? So
Secret spots.
yeah, but and then Silver Honda is 104 days and counting until Grandeur of the Seas. Is that the one we went on? I can never remember.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it
it is
with
actually.
Grandeur of the
In
Seas?
Grandeur
Yeah.
of the Seas, I believe I just found out is the oldest.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the oldest ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet. And we were on it, and it doesn't have. It was a fine ship, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have like the. I don't think it has roller coasters and stuff like that.
No, it doesn't have a roller coaster or water slide.
Or
is
water
what you're
slides,
thinking.
yeah.
And it also didn't have, like Royal Caribbean, one of their things is like a crane that takes you out kind of over the water. I can't remember what they call it, but it's not there. But it was a nice ship.
It has pools, and it has
Yeah.
plenty of stuff to check out. It was a pretty cool.
You
ship.
know, the one thing I kind of regretted on that cruise was there was like an observation tower that was in the same, or an observation lounge, I guess, that was in the same area as the Elite lounge, for like elite guests, which we weren't. And I thought that there's like an elevator that goes up there. The elevator only goes up there. And I thought the entire area was off guard, or off limits. And unless you had the elite pass, you couldn't even go to floor, whatever it was, deck 12 or whatever. But that's not true. There's like a whole lounge there that's totally open for everybody. And then it's just kind of half of it is, they're almost like cubicle walls. It was kind of funny. They're not full walls, that blocks off the elite lounge part. So my advice is make sure you check out that observation deck, because that was pretty neat.
Yeah, one more thing about the Grandeur trip is that was a 14-day cruise we were on, and I don't know what length did they say they're going on?
He didn't say.
Well,
But it's going in Tampa, and he's going under the Skyway Bridge, which
Cool.
I think when we were sailing on her, she was ported out of Miami, because that was a few years ago now.
I can't remember.
I don't
long
think
time
we've
ago,
cruised out of
yeah.
Tampa yet. We've been to Tampa, but I don't think we.
Yeah, maybe that's
we've
true.
visited,
Maybe
but
that's
didn't
true.
cruise out of there.
Anyway, it's going to be a great trip. It's a
Yeah.
great ship. It's a cruise ship. It's going to be awesome. And what I was going to say is I don't know, the itinerary is probably different than what you're doing, but we did a 14-day, and we had a really great itinerary and stopped at a bunch of just remarkable places in the Caribbean. So I'm sure you're going to love it.
that was fun. And I think you answered that the Curtis family wants to know if you took pictures for your tattoo artist. I don't think you're going to get... I think I'm going to say Joe is not getting Wild West tattooed on his fingers.
I bet they were being sarcastic, but I don't
But he did get a
don't
picture.
have any tattoos, nor will I ever have any tattoos. No offense to anybody that has tattoos, just not my thing. Let's see.
Oh,
here.
and Silver Honda said he's been counting down on every video how many days left. Okay, I had actually noticed that. I figured you were really excited about it. So, yeah, no hypochondriacs here. So, yeah, you're not going to tell me. I think you mean you're not going to tell me about all of your medical problems. Barbara says someone has posted that magnetic hooks were banned. Have you heard that? I have not heard that.
I have not heard that, and I really
that
don't
seems
think that seems like a
unlikely.
hoax to me. Yeah.
I know that like Disney Cruise Line has things where you're not allowed. I think you're not allowed to use magnets to hang things on your door because Disney has this this tradition that they're called fish chains, maybe. But it's this thing where it's kind of like Secret Santa, but it's all year round, and people will hang these fish-looking things on their door and then exchange gifts through like little trinkets through that. And I think I read that Disney said you can't use magnets because the magnets had been scratching up the doors. But as far as like a cruise line wide ban on magnets, I've not heard that, and I would be very surprised.
I'd be very surprised if they did that. It's been a staple for a long time, having cruise hooks or magnetic hooks.
Oh, and Silver Honda says, I also got a lower price adjustment for Royal Caribbean with my excursions and dining. That's a good tip.
Nice.
Something actually I was just looking at for our next video about how to get all the best, the lowest possible booking for all your cruise items. And yeah, double checking. And I gotta go start packing. You've got 104 days.
Now that is early packing. All right, let's move on to another subject here. Let's see. How about the emotional highs and lows of a cruise day? So, like the morning excitement, the midday relaxation, the evening festivities, how it mirrors life's up and downs. Everyone. So yeah, basically the emotional roller coaster of that. Really, you could talk about the whole cruise experience.
Yeah.
So the emotional roller coaster of the day that you're getting on the ship, and then you're on, and then after the cruise starts, you kind of get into the flow of the thing, and I think emotions stay hopefully generally pretty up and happy.
Yeah.
And then when you get like a day before, and then the day of disembarkation,
Saddest day of the cruise.
Sad and a little bit hectic sometimes.
Yeah.
In the mornings. I mean, the cruise companies do a pretty good job of like getting people out of the rooms. Tropical storm for non-form today. Yeah, that's scary. Another tropical storm. I'm sure it will throw a monkey wrench into some people's cruise plans for sure. Anyways, so what do you guys think about that? So, like on your cruise day, how do you guys so first of all, do you guys all fly in the night before? Everybody should, right? I mean, and I know that some people take their chances. I know some people get away with it sometimes, but how much more stressful is it going to be if you what if your plane's running a half hour late? You only gave yourself like an hour and a half window to get on the ship after you get to the port. And like the whole plane ride, your heart's pumping. Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it?
We've even like adjusted our plane times. The one time we normally try to fly nonstop, but we had one where we had to have a layover, and we had the option of I think it was like a 45-minute layover or a 1.5 hour layover. And we went with the longer one just because we didn't want to have the stress of, being the people running down the terminal trying to catch the plane. Yeah.
We've literally missed planes before.
We have missed planes before.
Thank goodness the Delta came through in a crunch and didn't cancel our flight. We got another flight. Long story.
Go Delta.
Go Delta. Yeah, we like Delta for the most part.
Yeah, and we're in a Delta hub, so that helps.
It does.
It gives a lot of options. Yeah.
So anyway, and then like when you get to the cruise port, like there's especially Silver Honda, if you're still there, there's a lot of like chaos, not chaos, but some chaos at the cruise port when you get there, and like you're trying to figure out what line you need to get in. You've got people, sometimes you got people telling you have to, even at the cruise, sometimes we've had people say you got to empty your water bottles.
Yeah.
Some cruise ports, you don't have to empty your water bottles. You're going through the lines, hopefully, you've got, on Carnival at least, you have to put your bags down at some point, and then a drug dog comes by and sniffs all your bags. you're like, oh man, what's gonna happen? So
and we've seen people get pulled aside by the drug dog at least twice.
Yeah,
I think at least twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the one time the lady was like, "Oh, I've got cats. He's probably smelling the cats."
just,
Like,
yeah.
seriously, like you think a drug dog is gonna get distracted by cats?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm not buying it.
So anyway, the whole process is, I mean, if you're not breaking any rules, whatever, there's nothing too much to worry about. But the process of getting on the ship, getting transportation from your hotel in the morning to the port, then getting through security, and then even once you're through security, you need to go get, either your medallion if you're on Princess, or your card if you're on, whatever. And then finally, you're walking up and down all these corridors, and finally at some point, you're walking down this long corridor.
Oh my gosh! The first time we went on a cruise, I could not believe we were like going back and forth and back. I was like, how many switchbacks are there? It was just, it was ridiculous.
It goes way up. It depends how high up on the ship they let you in.
It's different on different ports,
but
for sure.
So there's some stress in that. Especially the first time, after you've done it a few times, you kind of know the ropes, and it's not so bad. But you know what to expect. But there is like a breath of fresh air. Like you cross over the gangway onto the ship for the first time, and it's like, I'm on the ship.
Yeah,
I did it.
There it really is. It's
and that lasts for a minute, but then you're like, shoot, I need to go get my muster drill done. They're making announcements. I need to. Got to do the mustard drill, and then you are like, well, man, I'm walking around with my bag. I wish I could get in my room, but you can't get in your room till 1:30. So you're like, what should I do? And then you go up to the buffet to try to get some food, and it's like,
oh man, don't go to the buffet.
House in the buffet.
Yeah.
And so, the first part of a cruise is a little nuts. Honestly, we have a different. Here's you guys probably know, except Silver Honda, maybe not.
Well, in Kentucky Leisure, a lot of people haven't been on a cruise.
That's true.
Yeah,
so here's just a suggestion. No matter, you got to get through the beginning part. You just have to. But once you get on the ship, don't go. All the crew is going to be saying, "Oh, we've got lunch upstairs. Go to the buffet." Try to find a restaurant that's open on a different deck, because usually there's a restaurant open if you're hungry. Go eat there. It's going to be way less crowded because everybody goes to the buffet.
Yeah. And and everybody's going to the buffet, and if it's before 1:30, the rooms aren't open. So everybody's carrying, whatever they brought on board with them. And some people don't like to check any luggage, and so they've got like 3 roller suitcases that they're towing along behind them. So a place that's already can be crowded at peak times, it's just like twice as crowded. And So finding a restaurant is good.
Our strategy is to find a restaurant that is not the buffet that's open. There's usually at least one.
Yeah.
100%, almost, I'd say 100% of the time, like not very crowded, because everybody just goes to the buffet.
Yeah.
And the other thing we do is sometimes I think we've skipped lunch if we have a late breakfast.
Yeah, depending on.
And we'll just go up to the Lido deck. We'll find a sun lounger by the pool. We'll put our suitcase on that sun lounger with a towel there. And then we'll go get in the hot tub, because in our carry-on, we bring our swimsuits.
Yeah.
So, and nobody's in the hot tub because they're all doing whatever. They're all at the buffet or doing whatever they're doing. They're excited that they just got on the ship. So just bring your swimsuit, go change in the bathroom, put your luggage on a chair, and go chill in the pool or in the hot tub. You're going to pretty much have it to yourself, maybe 1 or 2 other people. And it's a really good system, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're telling people about it, and more we go on cruises, and there's like more people in the so more people are learning the strategy.
I think if it's your first cruise, you see everything going on, and it just seems like such a big deal to go and change into your swimsuit. What are you gonna do with your suitcase, everything, and there's just so much going on that you just are like, you know what, never mind, I'll do that later. And so I feel like a lot of first time cruisers don't do that. The only people I've seen in the hot tub that we've talked to, they've all been people that have cruised multiple times. They're like, I'm just gonna,
they know the tricks.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get in that craziness. I'm just gonna chill here. But I feel like you can't, if you haven't cruised before, I don't feel like you can get into that relaxed state of mind, because you're like, did I forget something? I don't know. I've never done this before.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But okay, so we have a few comments here. Beverly Judkes says, "Hello, I'm getting ready to travel on a cruise
Beverly.
with some lady friends that should be fun.
Nice.
One brand new cruiser, two have been on a cruise years ago, and me, who has been on over 50 cruises."
Oh, wow.
So it sounds like Beverly's going to be the one that has everything organized.
Yeah, everybody's going to be
Figure
asking
it out.
you
Yeah.
the questions, Beverly.
You are the go-to
Yeah.
person. And then the Beverly continues, "The ladies are getting nervous. I told them to just follow my lead, and by the end of the cruise, they should feel more comfortable and possibly experts. And I told them I will help them adjust." That's good. It's nice to have someone that can kind of show you the ropes, and hopefully they're going to put their trust in you fully,
Yeah.
and just go with the flow with that, because it makes things so much easier when you have someone that knows what they're doing.
I'll also say, Beverly, maybe don't tell them everything. Leave some things to surprise.
Yeah.
Because part of the experience is being a little overwhelmed by
Yeah.
the grandeur of the whole experience. So yeah.
Yeah, and if you suddenly, like, I don't know, just for instance, hopefully you're not watching, so I don't have any spoilers in here, but she actually continues, "We are going on Carnival, so I told them we'll probably get Guy's Burgers for lunch," which is a great idea, and then explore the ship. So like on Carnival, for instance, they have the movies under the stars, or no, dive-in movies on Carnival.
Yeah.
But you can get popcorn at Red Frog Pub Bar, yeah, on the Lido deck, and that's a minor thing, but you don't need to tell them that, but you can just be like, "Hey guys, let's go watch a movie. We'll go get some popcorn."
Yeah.
And like that's just such a fun, pleasant surprise, and
It is.
just having something like that in the middle of the cruise, that would be kind of cool.
Absolutely. New subject?
Sure. What's the next one you got?
All right. Next one is going to be
The Universal Awe of the Ocean.
you want to do that one?
I like that one.
All right. So you tell me about. Well, let me just. So the subject matter is the universal awe of the ocean. So the shared experience of people of staring out at the vast ocean. Now, being on a cruise ship gives you a very unique perspective that not everybody in the world gets to experience, which is being out in the ocean. I mean, on a giant ship and just looking completely around and seeing nothing but ocean. It's a very real experience, a very visceral experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I will let you talk about what is the reality of when you thought about what it was going to be like. Is the reality? Did it meet up to your expectation?
I mean, I would say it did meet my expectations, but it was nothing like what I imagined. So first of all, I've been on boats before. I hadn't been on a boat in the ocean. Yeah, we'd seen the ocean, but I'd never been on a boat in the ocean, or a ship, or a boat. I don't know. No size of vessel, ocean-going vessel at all, until we went on a cruise ship. So I've been on boats in the river before. And so the only watercraft I've been on have been, much closer to, we're talking like 4 or 5 feet most above the waterline. And on the cruise ship, you get on, and the first deck even if you have like an ocean view room and you're looking out at the waves are still like, 10, 15 feet below you?
Yeah.
So you're not very close to the water. And, from up above, when it's a calm day, it looks very calm on the ocean. But if you get really close to the water, you actually realize, the ocean is always moving up and down, and it's like a calm day. There's still like considerable swells. It's hardly ever just perfectly flat. So, and then you see birds down there, and you realize they're like disappearing and going into the, going between the waves and stuff. And it just really puts into perspective how big everything is. So, hey, Grade 8, thanks for joining us.
Grade 8, how's it going? So something just came into my mind when you were talking about that, and it is the promenade deck. So do you guys know what I'm talking about with the promenade? That's what it's called, right?
Well, most of them are called the promenade deck, but sometimes when they say promenade, they don't mean necessarily the exterior walkway.
Well, generally speaking, on ships, I guess I don't know the.
So I'm not really sure either, but I know what you're talking about.
The name. So there's usually, there's the Lido deck, obviously, that's usually higher up on the ship, and then somewhere down on the somewhat close to the water line, not right on the water line, but somewhat close to the water line, there's a deck that's usually called the promenade deck. And it's a deck where they usually have a smoking section down there, but it's just like usually wood, decking on the floor, a gate, and it's a place where you can a lot of times walk around the entire ship.
You should specify this is outside.
Outside
it's
of
like
the
not inside.
It's an outside area,
outside area
that you can generally like walk around the ship or almost around the ship. And it's quiet, and it's near the water. And one of my favorite...
But still 15 or so feet above the water.
Still 15 or... Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's right on the water, but it's a lot closer to the water than anywhere else. And it is one of my favorite places on a cruise ship. I like to be in the music. I like to be in the food areas and the, the excitement. But sometimes I really just want to go sit in a chair and stare at the ocean and just take in that magical, majestic... ocean view that you can really only get if you're on a ship, So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you ever go sit on the promenade deck and just like relax and just look at the ocean and maybe watch for whales, have a conversation, or even just go down there by yourself sometime and just like breathe some fresh ocean air and just take it all in?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of my favorite
But you mentioned
things.
whales, and so I do have to say, like, expectation versus reality on the whales. So when I imagined going on a cruise, I thought
there's whales
for sure,
jumping out of the water.
There's whales everywhere. They're jumping out of the water. It's going to be
Yeah.
like, a National Geographic moment every single day. And they're going to be huge, and they're jumping out of the water, and you're going to see the whole whale. And in reality, we didn't even see whales on our first couple of cruises.
No, we don't have the best luck with the whales.
We don't. And then we saw whales, and what it was is we were out on the deck, we're looking way off in the distance, and I'm like, it looks like someone's smoking out there, like way out in the ocean. And it was the whales coming up and blowing
the smoke coming out of the water. It literally looks like smoke, but it's
like
actually
smoke.
like a spray that's coming from
the blowhole of the whales.
Of the whale, yeah.
And it was way, way, way out there. And you didn't see, any whale. You just saw that.
What was great about that moment, though, is it was like we were
the only
wait
ones
a minute.
there.
Is that
just
a whale?
Figuring it out.
Is that a whale? We're like, holy crap, that's a whale. And then it was like a really exciting moment.
It was.
But we didn't see any like great whales.
There was no whales jumping out. And I
was...
think that in Alaska there were some people that did see the whales breaching, and and that is a thing, but all of our whale encounters have been just
seeing
the spray and
yeah.
maybe a little bit, like when we were in Alaska, that one time we saw the whales.
A little tiny
and it was like
bit
a little bit of the back coming up.
Yeah.
But the National Geographic moment has not yet happened. So let's see. Beverly said, yes, we were just on a Virgin cruise, and their 7th deck has lots of comfy chairs, and you can sit and enjoy being outside in a quiet area. Oh, nice. And then Kentucky Leisure says, is the promenade deck the walk around the ship deck that you would see on all the older ships in shows and movies? Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and so it depends on the ship. You can find this if you go and look at the deck plan, if you look up the deck plan for your ship. But some ships you can walk all the way around, and that's our favorite type. And it does seem to be the older ships. The newer ships, there's generally a section that you can go out on the promenade deck, but sometimes you can't go all the way around the ship. Sometimes you can go either around the bow or the aft of the ship, but not both. So you could go around like 3/4 of the ship. And then like on the Sapphire Princess and that class of ship, you can go all the way around, but you have to walk up a staircase on the outside of the ship. So it
the
depends
whole thing
on
with the promenade deck is, number one, the walking aspect and just taking in the ocean and the views. But like on a cruise ship, the cruise companies really want you to be constantly bombarded with music, with smells and sights and art and all these things. And
it's really overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And so just sometimes walking onto that promenade deck, no music.
They don't play music usually.
There's just this peace and like the sounds of the ocean and the smells of the ocean. And so suddenly your senses are just kind of getting hit by like nature and really, really beautiful nature. So it's a great place.
But the confusing thing about calling it the promenade is that specifically on Royal Caribbean ships, they have a section called the Royal Promenade, which is not the exterior walkway; it's the center part, and so that just it gets confusing. And I think technically, I mean, promenade is just like a grand walkway. That's what it really means. And so I think that cruise lines have kind of played with exactly how they're applying that word. I wish they would just keep it at being promenade means the exterior walkway of the ship.
Well, let's move on to another subject here, and this one is not it's not one that I'm that passionate about, but it is the nostalgia of cruise keepsakes. Do you guys get into the keepsakes like mementos, ship maps, daily planners, cabin key cards? I actually do save my.
We do save the key cards.
My
I
key
lost
cards.
one of them, and I'm actually kind of bummed about that. I have no idea what happened to it.
So yeah, how do you guys memorialize your cruise experiences? What do you buy a T-shirt on every cruise? Do you cruise? What is it? The charms and the bracelets?
Oh, not Etsy. The Effie charms.
Effie charms. Do you guys get into the Effie charms?
Yeah.
I know that for some people it's like a really big deal, and people that cruise a lot, like was it Beverly saying she's been on 50 cruises?
Yeah.
Do you have Beverly? Do you have like 50 charms on?
They have more than 50 because remember we were talking to the salesman at recently on one of our last cruises, and he was saying they have a unique charm for every single port. And then every single ship, I think, and so there's probably not every single cruise ship ever, but there's like over 100.
It could get crazy because you could get if you have maybe like 5 or 6 port stops on your cruise.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up with like a magnet and a keychain and what else? A decorative spoon from you're gonna not be able to fit all that in your suitcase. What's this?
Beverly said, I used to buy a coffee mug from each ship, but stopped because now I have too many. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the mementos can be fun, and definitely cruise companies want you to buy those mementos, and they can be fun. If you have a magnet on your refrigerator of your Carnival Cruise or whatever you were on, I think that's cool because you're gonna walk past it and think about the good times.
Do you remember the people decorate their stateroom doors, and there was one couple that we didn't meet the couple, but we passed their door, and they had like magnetized their old key cards, and they brought those magnets with them on every cruise, I assume, and they just had those on the door, and they had a lot.
I don't remember that. That's cool.
Oh, you don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, I pointed it out because I thought it was really. I was like, oh, we could do that.
That's
but then I
fun.
lost one of my key cards. So
yeah.
No, it's incomplete.
We have a whole new. This is off subject, but we came up with a new concept for our door art, our cabin door
give
art.
It away.
Should I not?
Well, now you let the cat out of the bag.
Well, it's not that earth shattering, but. We are going to get one of those, and I bet other people have done it, but we're going to get one of those. Have you guys seen those magnetic
poetry is what
magnetic
it's called.
poetry sets you can get that you usually put on your refrigerator, and it's just phrases and words that you can make just different things that are just going to be kind of on a theme.
Yeah.
We're going to put those on our cruise door. We're going to welcome other people to rearrange those, and we can rearrange those into some different magnetic poetry. I think that's a fun idea. Anyway,
I thought it was a great idea. It was Joe's idea actually, so I'm going to give him credit.
Yeah.
So we've got some more favorite things. Cruising Chris says, I keep the key cards, custom door magnet, Christmas ornament, and baseball hat if they have one.
Nice.
Custom door magnet. I suppose they have magnets.
I guess we've never looked for those. That's actually a good idea.
Like, so the way he's saying it, I'm wondering,
you could make your door decorations be like all the different cruises you've been on.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
No, I was just wondering if he means does he get one?
Custom made after the fact?
No, but like the cruise line gives you, like to being a certain loyalty status or something.
Yeah.
If it's that custom or just custom as in you picked it out yourself. And Kentucky Leisure says, I love collecting shot glasses. I hope they have those in gift shops. Yes, they do.
They certainly do.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
Cruising Chris says Etsy magnet. Okay, so he's customizing it himself. Cool.
I love it. We walked, I think it was Amber Cove. We got off the ship one time, and I just thought it was funny because there was, you walk off the ship and into Amber, I believe it's Amber Cove or maybe Grand Turk. and you walk like through, like a lot of ports, you walk through a gift shop or a duty-free shop. And they had, the first thing you saw was this giant display of Tito's vodka and giant bottles of Tito's vodka, and it had a big sign that said Summer Essentials. And all that was on there was vodka.
I think that was Grand Turk's, actually. Yeah, it was just vodka.
Summer Essentials vodka.
Yep,
yeah.
That's all you
anyway,
need.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And then Beverly says, my husband and son like getting shirts. Me, I'm just enjoying the experience, and we take pictures, so I kind of stopped buying things.
Yeah.
Pictures are great, and you know what? I love the way, I was just talking about this, I love the way that your phone will, like, just randomly be like, hey, you remember this happened? And, so you're just hanging out at home, and maybe it's winter and cold outside, and your phone reminds you that, a couple of years ago you went to Grand Turk, or a couple of years ago you saw an awesome whale, or whatever.
100%.
Yeah, and
love that.
Pictures are the best souvenir, I think.
I agree with that. All right, so we are going to move on to another subject here. And Barbara says, what's the lowest?
You've seen the internet package. Well, that so depends on which cruise line you're on.
Yeah.
But actually,
like a 10 or a 15% discount if you get it pre-cruise, but I've never really seen any deals that make it go lower than that.
No. So Royal Caribbean is okay. So you said Royal. So Royal Caribbean is known for having the dynamic pricing, but so somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I have never seen them have dynamic pricing on the internet. It's like just internet, and I think that's always a set price, and I don't remember what they're up to now because they keep raising the price. I actually was just looking it up. I should remember it. I do remember that Royal Caribbean, I believe, was the least expensive. Okay, I have to check it now. Hang on. Because I know where I have it written down.
No, that's okay. Barbara says it's $18.99 right now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, $18.99 is what is advertised right now. So $26.99 is the price I wrote down as their like full price, what you pay on the ship, and then $18.99 would be that's $7 off, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 20% off. So yeah, and I'm wondering because I actually remember when we were on Royal that's about what it was. In the cruise planner. The problem is it's hard to research if you don't have a cruise booked because you can't actually see these prices until you're like already have the booked cruise, and then you can see what kind of deal they're going to give you. Yeah. So yeah, I would say everybody's saying take that deal.
Take the deal.
Yeah, if you for sure want Wi-Fi, that is a good deal because I know once you get on the ship, it's $26.99 and that doesn't change. Grade 8 is saying. Yeah, $27.99 with a 30% discount.
That's a great deal.
That sounds right.
Yep.
And like so, what Grade 8 was saying there is with Royal, with I think all of their packages, drink, Wi-Fi, dining, they have a thing in there in the fine print that says you can get a refund up to 2 days, like a full refund, no questions asked, no reason needs to be given, if you cancel the package up to 2 days before you're setting sail. So if you want, you can go ahead and buy it. And then if you see it come up as a lower price later on, then you can cancel that first one and buy it at the lower price. Or if you're just like, I'm not sure if I want it, but this looks like a good deal, you can go ahead and buy it. And then if you just change your mind or like, you know what, I don't need internet, I don't want to talk to anybody back home or anyways, or whatever the case may be, you can cancel. You just have to remember to do it 2 days before your departure day. Or, it'd be better if you gave yourself 3 or 4 days just to be safe. But and they'll give you a full refund. So that is the nice thing about Royal Caribbean. Since I'm not really a fan of their dynamic pricing where it's always changing. It's like so hard to know. I canceled a drink and repurchased. They still haven't refunded me. They said that in the fine print, and I believe it was a longer time. I thought, well, surely it doesn't take that long. So it was a longer time than I thought. Sorry, I don't know right off the top of my head, but if it's been more than 14 days, I would definitely reach out because I think that's the longest that they're supposed to give you. But I'll see if I can look it up and let you know in the description later on. So, yeah.
All right. So the next subject is going to be, and we kind of talked about this inadvertently earlier, but the universal hunt for the perfect ship spot, the perfect place to hang out on the ship. So like finding a quiet spot. We talked about the promenade deck, but also like for reading or for sunsets, both promenade deck would be great. Your favorite bar, and so my personal thing on cruises is finding a nice couch, because on a Carnival cruise you have a couch in your room, but it isn't the most comfortable couch, and I need a little bit of couch time now that I am in my late 40s. I need just a little bit of couch time where I can just kind of especially like shortly after waking up, I just like to kind of get going, and I just need to sit
And by
down.
get going, you mean
I
sit on the couch.
sit on my butt. Yeah. So
Just to clarify.
so I need comfortable, just a half hour couch time. We like to do a puzzle in the morning.
Yep.
We like to sit on the couch.
New
and
York
do
Times
that,
connections.
drink some
every
tea,
morning.
something like that. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I generally like to find a good couch on the cruise ship, and I'll pick out a place, wherever it might be on the cruise ship where there's a nice comfortable couch that we can go to. And what I kind of do is take ownership of it. And I get offended when somebody is sitting in my couch, and I'll go down there and I'm like, who do they think they are sitting in my spot? And I don't actually say anything, which is good because I might get kicked off the ship if I did. But hopefully every morning I'm just hopeful that my spot's going to be there and we can go down and sit in our spot on the couch. So yeah, that is my personal thing. Do you guys have spots that you go to? As far as bars go, I don't sit in bars a lot just like for the sake of sitting in bars. I'll have some drinks, but I usually don't just like sit at the bar or anything. So I don't really relate with that well. But I know that some people really like having their spot at the bar. Maybe if they're into sports, one of the sports bars or something like that. But what about you?
I think the one thing that I would say I have my spot for is where we eat breakfast, because if we're sometimes we bring breakfast back to our room, but if we're going to eat on the ship, it's like I mean, remember it was so crowded on the Legend when we went up for breakfast, but there was this one table. It was like a 2-seater table. It was like a small round one instead of one of the long rectangular ones.
Yeah.
And usually that one was open, and that became my table, and I was like, I don't care if I find another one closer, like I just know that's my table. So, and on the Celebration there was that, and the Mardi Gras there was that little section on the back end, kind of by the aft bar. Yeah. That we'd go and eat, and
we find our spots for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's important to have that place you can go when you just need a little bit of peace when you're on a cruise ship. And so finding your spots, and cruise ships, that's one of the fun things about cruising is there are nooks and crannies that the general masses on the cruise ship aren't going to find because they're just kind of out of the way. And they're usually some of my favorite spots on the ship, just because they're kind of secret. You found them, and you can really enjoy them. So yeah.
So Grade 8 says put a towel on the couch. That should buy you a couple of hours. But I was gonna say,
Grade 8,
since
you got in your joke of the week. I love it.
Since you want it in the morning, you should just right before you go to bed, you should just go up and put your towel there and see if it's still there when you wake up in the morning. Because
yeah, right. Just keep your towel there.
Yeah, just leave it there.
I saw a story, and this is. Just really quick, I saw a story when I was researching my last video about the most outrageous things people do on cruise ships. I hope you guys watched that. I thought it was a good one.
Actually, I think Kentucky Leisure says, well, I'm thinking about it. I wanted to say what a great job you did on your video that you put out 7 days ago. You two really do a great job making them entertaining.
He liked our video.
Was that the one 7 days ago? I guess that was the one about...
It was the Cruising 101.
Cruising 101, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. We try to make them entertaining, for sure. We put real effort into it.
Yep.
But anyway, when I was researching my last video, I didn't include this in the video because there isn't, it's more hearsay, but there is rumor that somebody was holding their seats in different locations on the ships. We all hear about the chair hogs where they put their beach towel on the sun lounger and they can take it. Somebody was holding their seats at different locations around the ships by taking off their socks and
Oh my gosh.
and just leaving their dirty socks.
Oh man.
Which is, it would work. It's like, who's going to sit there? Nobody's going to touch the socks.
If I see socks on our next cruise, I'm going to throw them overboard. And then this guy is going to be walking around without socks, and I'll know who he is. I'll be like...
Yeah, well, I don't wear socks a lot of the time on that. You know?
Was it you?
It was not me. I wouldn't do that. So anyway, just a little, yeah.
That's
kind of funny.
It is sort of funny, but don't give people ideas.
People do the craziest things.
They really do.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All for a chicken tender.
All for a chicken. They're actually not very good. Shaq's Big Chicken has great chicken tenders on Carnival cruises, but the late night chicken tenders, they're fine, but they're like, nothing special.
Nothing to get into a fight about. So Beverly says, I personally enjoy sitting on my balcony with a drink and a book, which I agree with that. I love the balcony time. And then Cruising Chris says, Schooner Bar on Royal Caribbean is my favorite. Yeah. That I feel like that one was really popular on our
it's
Caribbean
been a while
cruise.
since we've been on Royal, and I'm trying to remember.
I think.
And anyway,
I remember the decor on that, and it's kind of reminiscent of the wheelhouse on Princess. It's like a very nautically themed bar,
cool.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But Kentucky Leisure says, I'm really disappointed to know that I'm going to have a hard time getting a lounge chair near the pool. No, see, that really depends.
Won't.
And it sounded like you said you haven't picked out your cruise ship yet. You said something earlier that made me think that. So sorry if I misinterpreted that. But if you're if that's something that's a concern to you, I would say older ships you would have an easier time, and just consider that when you're looking, like if it's a cruise ship that only has one pool, then obviously that's going to be harder to find a spot. But if you have some of the cruise ships have even 3 pools that, and in that case, like on the Sapphire Princess, I can't. Did that one have 2 or 3 pools? I think it had 3 pools.
Yeah,
it had 3, and there was the one pool in the back that hardly anybody was ever there.
Yeah,
it was just.
It depends. It depends on the kind of cruise you're on.
Yeah.
If you're on a longer, like a Journeys cruise or something, you're gonna have plenty of pool time.
Yeah.
All you want, really.
Yeah.
If you're on a 4-day Miami booking on a Carnival ship, you're not going to get any pool time. You're going to get 0. So it just depends
regardless of the ship.
Which cruise you book. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're on a party cruise, it's going to be a party on the Lido deck and at all the pools the whole time. So.
But anything that's a week or longer, I feel like.
Adventure of the Seas.
Adventures of the Sea.
Adventure of the Seas. We have not been.
We have not been on that one.
Seas,
No.
But I would like to. There's so many cruise ships.
Yeah.
I want to be on all of them. Yeah.
And we were thinking about. We keep saying we need to book our next cruise, because after this Australia cruise,
we don't have anything booked.
We don't have anything booked,
we're
looking at withdrawal syndromes.
We are, and we have been cruising. We kind of fell in love with Carnival a few cruises ago for a couple of reasons. And we're thinking about, and we're still going to cruise on Carnival for sure, but we're thinking about doing a couple non-Carnival cruises because we just haven't for a while. So, it'll be interesting to see what we book. But we are going to be on a Carnival cruise for 21 days, which is going to be amazing, and I'm super looking forward to it. Although we're in that stage right now where we're trying to get all of our ducks in a row to leave for a relatively long period of time, which is somewhat stressful. It is also stressful when your other half, or other 3/4, as I like to say, walks away.
Sorry.
And is in the kitchen, and I don't know what she's doing. She's coming back. She's coming back.
So you guys can't tell because we don't have the smell developed on our TVs yet to give you the smell factor as well as the. But I'm roasting tomatoes, and it smells very good in here, but I could tell they were starting to burn. Sorry,
Good
guys.
season for tomatoes, guys. She's fixing you a staff. In a sense.
Actually, yeah.
She is actually making some tomato
Roasted
sauce.
tomatoes in the summertime, some of the best things ever. Something you can't get on a cruise ship.
You can...
You can get tomatoes, but they're not freshly... Well, actually...
They might be.
That would be awesome if
They
they had
might
like
be.
a tomato garden. somewhere on the cruise ship, but I don't think they do. So
All right, so let's do, what do we got here? We're at close to an hour. We want to make it to an hour though, so we're going to do at least another subject here, and we're going to do we could do an easy one. Which is the shared.
That is an easy one.
The shared obsession of
Ship food.
ship food. So the different menus on different cruise lines, the endless dining options, buffet or late night snacks, or the different pizzas on different cruise ships. So
Pizza gets people worked up for sure.
yeah. So and we were just talking about
we
tomato
talked about
sauce.
that, yeah.
So let's
Well,
talk
we talked about pizza a few lives ago, and
yeah, people have their opinions on pizza.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you say, Sorrento's isn't that good.
it's not, but it's better than
It's better than
Carnival's
Carnival.
Pizza
Carnival
Pirate.
has the worst pizza. And
But
actually,
you've gotten several people commenting and saying, don't diss my Carnival pizza. I like it.
absolutely, some people
So,
love the Carnival
it's-
pizza.
it's so funny.
They say that it tastes like pizza from Italy.
I've
been to Italy. I've had pizza in Italy, and I'll tell you what they do have. They have the same kind of toppings that you'll find, the very sparse, like
Yeah.
the margarita pizzas,
Yeah.
the things like that. That it's not a very American pizza. And honestly, I mean, I really liked having pizza in Italy. I'm lucky enough to have done that before, but I like American pizza.
Yeah, I like American
I like
pizza
toppings
better.
on my pizza.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm definitely a fan of the pizza on Princess cruises, but the whole experience of food on a cruise ship is pretty vast. It's certainly not just pizza. Like I think I've been on cruises where I had no pizza.
Yeah.
But just the vastness of the different menus and the different flavors that you get to have that you don't get when you're at home when you're on a cruise. So, I guess what stands out to me, and I think I've talked about this before, I hate to be repetitive, but the fruit on a cruise ship.
Oh yeah, because they're getting it fresh.
They're getting
like,
it
really fresh.
They're getting it from these tropical locations that you're visiting if you're on a Caribbean cruise, and they're restocking at these tropical places, and so it's some of the best.
The pineapple?
The pineapple is insane.
So good.
The pineapple is insane. It's so much better than the pineapple we get at the store.
Yeah. But here's one thing. So this is I've only started noticing this on Carnival, so I don't know if this is true on other lines, but bananas. They only put bananas out for breakfast. You can't get bananas any other time. And the bananas progressively get worse as the cruise goes on. It's like they get a giant batch of bananas, and you go to the grocery store and you buy bananas and they're green and they will last for a week. But on the cruise ship, for some reason, I don't know if they're even green when they get them, but they're like yellowish brown on embarkation day, and then the next day they're brownish yellow, and then after that they're just like no good.
They're done. They go bad really fast.
And also, if you ask for a banana, and because we were on a Carnival cruise where I just couldn't find bananas, like the banana bowl would just be empty every time I go up there. So we went to main dining for breakfast, and I was like, I ordered a banana because I wanted to take it with me. I like to have banana as a mid-morning snack. And I was like, I'm just going to put the banana in my bag and I'll take it out of the main dining room. They gave me a really weird look, the server that took my order, and they didn't bring me a banana, and then I had to ask for it again, and then they brought it, and it had been like cut open and then neatly arranged and like perfectly sliced and like sliced, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll eat my banana here. So I did not ask for a banana in main dining any other time.
Yeah, that was a fancy banana, a very fancy banana.
You remember that, right?
But yeah, so something that stands out on what do we have for comments? Let's
So,
go there first.
speaking of pineapple, Cruising Chris says, until you have had pineapple from Hawaii.
Which we're going to be having soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
All other is subpar. And I feel like when we were on that Princess cruise, we might have gotten pineapple from Hawaii.
Possibly.
The first
Possibly.
day. Yeah. And then, okay, so see, I knew we'd have a pizza debate. Cruising Chris says, Sorrento's is good late night after bar pizza. I really like Princess pizza, but I wasn't impressed by MSC pizza. And he said, yes, I'm in the minority. On the MSC pizza, I don't really think I wasn't impressed by the MSC.
I
pizza
thought it was
either.
okay. I thought it was better than Carnival or
Yeah.
Royal, personally.
Kentucky Leisure said, I heard a lot of YouTubers talking as if MSC has the best pizza. But it depends on what type. And I know a lot of people do like the MSC pizza, but
The MSC
personally,
pizza has kind of like it's a little thicker crust. It's cut in squares.
Yeah.
And it's more, is that New York style, I think?
I'm not
I
sure.
can't
I was
remember,
actually
yeah.
going to say MSC is a European cruise line. They're based out of, I can't remember what country in Europe. But so it actually makes sense that they'd be more authentically Italian pizza. But I don't know.
Though.
It's not. I don't think it is.
It was good pizza. Yeah.
Cruising Chris says, get bananas
Grade
with
8
the
says
free
it's
continental
European
delivered.
style. Huh.
Oh, European style. European style, but not. It's not really Italian. I don't know.
No.
But get continental delivered breakfast. Get bananas with the free continental delivered breakfast. Yeah,
Absolutely.
We've done that before. Gotten the fruit that way. So I just thought it was funny that they didn't know how to get me a banana at main dining. It was like, it's just a banana. Just, anyways. Yeah. So.
Was there more comments?
Oh well, Kentucky Leisure said she appreciated my banana hint. So.
Cool.
I think I got them all.
Yeah, so another comment I'll make about, I guess in general, just like food on cruise ships is the diversity of options is remarkable. So you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean.
You have a finite amount of food. I mean, it's a lot of food, but it's a finite
But
amount.
it's like you can get
So
all
many,
the different, all the Chinese, Mexican, Italian,
all the different cuisines.
You can get fine dining. You can get a burrito. You can get it's just like, it's just amazing that you can like, it's literally a city floating on the water where if you're in the mood for this, you can go get this. If you're in the mood for this, seafood, I mean, anything you want. And it's all generally speaking, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. It's so like the experience of food on a cruise ship. Food is a big part of cruising, in general, and I'm sure that that's more of an individual thing. You have to decide if it's going to be but it can be a big part of cruising for people. It's
Yeah.
always there. The options are endless, and so if you love food, if you love trying new foods, or if you just love your staples that you have back home, you're going to be able to find it on a cruise ship, which is
Yeah.
really an amazing thing. And for me, it is a very fun part of cruising. I obviously like food, and
I like food too.
I think most of us do. And I mean, I guess a tip I would give people, if you're looking for tips, is a mistake I made when we first started cruising, which I think probably a lot of people make, is I was like, oh my gosh, there is just endless good food. And then I ate too much. And I'd have a stomach ache. The end of the day, I'd feel stuffed. I just wouldn't, and then the next morning I wake up and there's a little bit of room. I'd be like, all right, I'm going for it. And I'd go eat way too much food.
Well, they make those portions at the main dining room. People have commented that they seem small. And I think sometimes they are small, but it's that way for a reason.
It is.
Because so many people do want to try so many different things, and if you have like a giant portion of everything, you're not gonna, like, that just doesn't, the math isn't gonna work out eventually. So
Grade 8 just said something about the worst thing is being on a diet when you go on
cruising. Yeah.
Well, somebody, this isn't my original thought, but we read once where somebody said something to the effect of, they go into a cruise with the idea that they're going to diet on the cruise. Yeah. And then, on day 1, they slip just a little bit. And then on day 2, they're like, I slipped yesterday. I'm just going to have a little bit. By day 3, it's out the window. It's out the window. Yeah, there's no diet. Dieting on a cruise ship would be super hard.
Yeah.
It would be constant, temptation.
It would be, but I have heard people say that when they're on like a particular type of diet, like like a low carb diet or a actually that's the main one, I think, but you can ask. Well, you can do it, but you can also ask them. So you can tell your waiter at main dining, hey, all I want is the meat. Please don't bring me anything else. And people have said that they'll do that, but honestly, I don't know if I believe that, because you've asked for your plate to be prepared differently than what was
You
like the
can-
norm, and they just brought you they brought you the normal thing, and then they brought you what you asked for. So they didn't like actually change your plate.
When you're booking your cruise, or when you after you've booked your cruise, you can go in and they will say, do you have any dietary
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
restrictions? And so I think you can maybe mention there that you just want steak for every meal. Just steak.
Yep. And filet mignon, by the way, because I'm on a special diet where I can only eat filet mignon. I can't do any other cuts of steak.
Exactly. All right, guys. I think that is where we're going to end this live stream on this beautiful Saturday that is supposed to be sunny outside.
It's getting rainy now.
And it's getting rainy and cloudy. What is going on? Grade 8, it was great to talk to you and everybody
Thanks,
else.
everybody, for showing up.
Thank you for showing up. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.